Hi Bookworms! We are going to do our crest for our, I guess we'll say it's King Richard. So I have already traced this on where I did the scribble on the background and then transferred it that way. Take a look at that video if you forget how to do that. That is in our Facebook group at the top. And then I'm going to use my watercolor, my mini watercolor palette and just my watercolor pen. And I've got my ink pen here with the double-sided like the brush tip and then the regular ink side fine tip. I'm going to put the detail in with that, but I'm going to use mainly just some of metallics and make this look sort of like a golden crest type thing. And I just noticed that I've got some pencil down through here. Let me get regular, let's see, I've got my pencil right here. Just kidding. I'm going to get this cleaned up a little bit. So I'm going to do like a, actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Micron. This pen bleeds a little with water, so I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use my Micron, actually. I'm going to use my 5. And I'm going to get this on, and then I'm going to clean this up with an eraser. So, I'm just going to trace this, and these seem to do better with the watercolor. And not making, like, they don't bleed as easy as, like, that pen there. So, that's what I like about my Microns. I'm going to get this detail on. Okay, I'm going to turn this sideways. Get the detail in this way. I am super excited to be sending out our fall box here really soon. I've got some really fun things that are a little, hopefully a little more relaxing even than this box, a little less intimidating. I've readjusted some of the things, and they're minor adjustments. And then I have a new thing I'm going to be adding regularly, which I'm really excited for you guys to see. I can't wait for you to see that part, actually. I'm like really excited about it. Okay, that did not go as smoothly as I was hoping. Adjust my pen ink a little bit. Well, actually, I'm going to darken this all in the end anyway. I forgot that's what I was planning on doing. For the most part, not all of it, I guess. I'm going to thicken these lines up at the end, so it'll make for a better look at the end there once we get the watercolor on. This is always the hardest part to me, is getting these nice clean lines. Okay, and now for the lion. My husband and I started rewatching Game of Thrones recently, and I noticed last night that the lion on one of the, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on the family name. The main royal family. The evil ones. Why can I not think what they're called? The Lannisters. There we go. They're the lions. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video or the movie or the show. Oh my gosh, I have so much trouble creating and talking at the same time. That their lion looked a lot like this. That's where I was going with that. Very drawn out way. I've decided recently, after like rewatching this show and trying to watch like one that was recommended to us that was more modern type show, that I have no desire to watch something that's not got some historical or fantasy to it, or sci-fi. I like sci-fi too, which makes sense why I like the classics. I do not like modern stuff. It's not for me. And I prefer like sci-fi and fantasy to not be within like modern time. I can do it if it's got some of that, but I prefer it to be a different time period. Either futuristic or back in the day. Even like the Stranger Things, I like that because it's, you know, not necessarily modern from my childhood. But anyway, I told my husband that recently. I was like, I don't know if you want to watch a show or movie. For the most part, I don't really want to watch it unless it falls into one of those categories. It's funny. I don't actually watch a whole lot of TV. My husband and I have usually a show maybe that we watch, especially in the winter. We watch more. We have our little mini farm, so we don't watch as much during the summer. But I don't watch. I watch like one episode of something. Probably not even every day. And that's it. Other than that, I don't turn the TV on. I do like podcasts and like YouTube videos teaching something. I do a lot of that. So I don't not watch anything. I do watch a decent amount of like videos on mainly how to make something or how to improve something. I like home improvement type stuff, but I usually do that on the internet, not on the TV. Okay, so there is my Crest. I'm going to grab my water pen, and then I'm just going to add some really cool metallics. So I've got my 3 metallics, or actually I've got 4: a gold, like a coppery orangey color, a copper, and a silver. And I'm mainly going to use that. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, my gold. And I want that the majority of this. Let's see how metallic we can get it. Oh, you know what? I just said I did all of that because the whole purpose is I wanted to clean up these pencil marks. Okay. Get this off there. There we go. All right. Back to the gold. It's pretty good. Nice and intense. I think I might cover it all. Yeah, I'm going to. And then I'm going to go back with like that copper and put in the detail with the copper, I think is what I want to do. Nice and shiny. I'm going to mainly just do the metallics. So fill all this in. I'm going to do silver around the edge. And you know, I realized the other day that I should do the bookmark in the very beginning of the quarter. that way you can use your bookmark if you want with your, as you read. So we're going to do that next quarter. I apologize for that not being something I did this time. So I will have that done earlier on. For this next quarter, we'll do our bookmark first. That way we have our bookmark to go along with our beautiful new book. And I think you guys will be really excited about the new story. It's a fun one. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to do gold on the crown. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this part too, because I'm going to put a different color over that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and start shadowing and shading some of these other areas. So I'm going to get my copper nice and I'm going to go around the outside. Okay. And then through here, put a little shade here. So I'm using this as my shadow, my copper. Almost to give it like an aged. Okay. Put these up here a little bit. And then I'm going to clean my brush off. I don't want any of that gold or copper on there. And then I'm going to use my silver. There we go. I'll clean my brush out a little bit and then I'm going to add some colors, like a red up in here to these, make these like jewels, and hopefully some of that shimmer comes through since I have the gold underneath. And do a blue. Okay. And then I'm going to do an outside color. I need to flip my sponge that I used to clean my brush off on is getting gross. Okay. I'm going to do an outside color and I'm going to do one of these really dark greens. And I'm going to go right around the edge and then just do the where I blur it out from there. So we'll go down until it starts to not be quite so bright. And then little circles. And then I just want it to sort of fade out as it goes. Like that. This over, almost done, and then I'm just going to put the detail in with the pen. Very pretty. I like it. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with, I think I'm gonna use my brush side of my pen here. Like blowing on it while I'm drawing so that I can make sure it's not too wet. I'm using the heavier side of my pen here because I want a thicker line for the outside. And then I'm going to use more of the tip of the pen for the detail on the inside. I think I'm actually going to switch to this side because it's for the detail of the line. I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of detail if I don't. I can see the shimmer. You might not be able to on the video, but I can see the shimmer underneath my jewel tones by putting that gold under there. It looks really cool. I think I'm going to make the darker, I'm going to make this a little bit heavier through here, so I'm switching back this part. And then I'm going to switch back again. Rotate my thing here. I'm getting ink on my hand. I think my other pen is losing ink on the one side. It just wasn't quite as dark as I was hoping in some of these areas. There we go. Okay. There is our Royal Crest. Let me bring this up so you guys can see it. Hopefully I can get some of the, you can see some of the shine from the metallic. That one's going to be pretty in the book. Let me grab it. It's already dry enough I can stick it in. So I've got all of our Weekly Whimsies. There they are. Pretty. This is fun. I like the booklet. This will be cool next to my book on my bookshelf. All right, I'm excited to see your guys's. We only have a few left of this quarter. A few more projects. And don't forget about your mini museum. I'd love to see those soon. I'll see you all soon, guys. And talk to you in the group. Bye.